Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see it through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, it helps futures lose pride.
What's up, everybody? This is Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson, aka Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. And I hope that doesn't make you feel cringe. I really do. You know what? Today we're going to talk about something very important. Well, I feel like we talk about things very important, but today I was moved this morning, as well as yesterday, and then the day before, about blood pressure. And years ago, when I spent time with the great late Jack LaLanne, he used to say, Robert, if you're excited about something, don't keep it a secret. Well, I'm excited about what I'm seeing with my clients as it pertains to getting off blood pressure medication and then getting their blood pressure numbers in a healthy place. And I'm going to share with you that. And I'm also going to share with you things that I would bet you didn't know until today. And that's coming from a place of grace and love. And it's sad that you don't know, because the people I'm talking to are the ones who are on blood pressure medication. And some of you are living with high blood pressure and don't know it. And that's according to the data, the stats. And it's just information that we all would benefit from knowing, because as you will learn in our time together, 5 out of every 10 adults right now are dealing with blood pressure. 5 out of 10. So you go to the barbershop or the hair salon, and if there's 10 adults in that room, 5 are battling. Now, depending on the ethnicity, Hispanic, African Americans, is going to be more like 6 out of 10. And it's a major contributor to all-cause mortality. I mean, almost 700,000 people, according to the CDC, are dying every year just in the United States because of their blood pressure. People are losing relationships because of blood pressure. And then when you have high blood pressure, it can lead to other problems. Like, you're way more likely to become a type 2 diabetic. Same as if you're a type 2 diabetic, you're way more likely to have high blood pressure. So I'm going to speak to the underlying component to all of this. And I'm going to do my best so that it makes total sense. So I have some slides and I have some success stories I'm going to share with you today. Now, before I dive in, if you're on the YouTube channel, if you're catching the replay, just hit the thumb up. If you click on the thumb up, it actually helps me reach more people. And if you have a comment or a question, even if it's not positive, if you make a comment, that helps also. If you didn't like something that I said, I'm okay with that. I'm open to any critiques, because my entire goal is to get information to people. So I'm big into the world of nutrition education. Okay. And we've been at it for 30 years. So we've learned a lot, and I feel like I still have much to learn. And today I just want you to be open-minded and kind of go with me. Okay. Now, here's the preface to our talk, because a lot of people will say, well, I don't need to watch that video because my blood pressure numbers are under control, but yet they're taking blood pressure medications. And then you have those people who say, well, I'm only taking 2 milligrams. I'm only taking 10 milligrams. You're taking blood pressure medication. So my question, and you can see in the comments in my description, one of my clients, Mary, who's in complete denial, she says, quote, my blood pressure numbers are good because I'm consistent with taking my medications. And so I go, well, that's a false sense of assurance. She goes, what do you mean? I said, let me tell you a story. So I just want to tell you guys, this is a real story. And it was shared with me maybe 15 years ago by two doctors. It was a father and a son doctor. And the dad was like early 80s, around 83 years old. And the son was, mid 40s. And the son was getting ready to take the dad to dialysis. Right? They're both doctors, physicians, board certified. And so we're having the conversation, and I said, boy, that must be tough. He goes, yeah. And he goes, and I know exactly what I did. I know why I'm on dialysis. The last years of my life is a life with no quality. And I go, like, what do you mean? He says, well, when I was in my 40s, I was in a situation where my blood pressure was starting to go up a little bit. So I gave myself a minute amount of blood pressure medication to keep my numbers under control. And he said, and over the years, it went up a little bit, and we had to change the medication here and there. But he says, the reason why I'm on dialysis, and this is him talking, the doctor, is not because of his numbers, but because of the medication he had been taking for a long period of time. See, no one asked that question, or very few people ask that question when they go to the doctor, right? Like, how many people say, hey, doc, what happens if I stay on this medication for a long period of time? Like 30 years, 40 years, maybe I get older, or do I ever get off of it? And many doctors will say you're going to be on it for the rest of your life. I've had some, very rare, will say, no, we want to eventually wean you back off. But most people stay on it. And I've done posts and shared information where people get mad at me. I'm like, don't get upset with me. But again, I'm going to share with you some real good information because you don't want to be on it. And I've seen in the last year alone, almost 40 of my clients who were on blood pressure medication for a long time. And now they're not, and their numbers are good. Okay. So let's take a look at my screen. These are just numbers. And they're numbers that I pulled from the CDC, where they talk about the prevalence of hypertension based on ethnicity. And as you can see, like Blacks, Hispanics are more likely, but everybody's in a bad situation. So the prevalence is like I said, is not good for all of us. Then you can look at like who's taking medications, who's not. And so just to jump past these slides, these are the numbers that I want you to become familiar with, okay? Because they set us up for our time together today. Okay, so as you can see this, let me make this screen a little bigger. There you go. So look at the top, and this is what the numbers mean. For every 100 white adults who are told to take blood pressure medication, 32 have their blood pressure under control with meds. For every 100 Black or Hispanic adults, 25 has theirs under control. And for every 100 Asian adults, 19. So you can already see there's some disparities there. Well, the awareness is that 1 out of every 5 adults has high blood pressure and doesn't even know it. So if you go to the salon or the barbershop and there's 10 people in there, we know that 5 have high blood pressure and 1 of those 5 don't even know it. So that may even bring us to 6. And then when you look at the overall impact, right? The overall impact, almost half of the adults, 5 out of 10, have high blood pressure or are taking medications for it. And when you look at the data based on deaths, it's almost 700,000, and that's a few years ago. Okay. This is a text that I got from one of my clients this morning. Literally. It was another sign for me to take a moment and actually to do this live, to make this video available. This is one of my clients who was on blood pressure medication. Her name is Sylvia. So big shout out to you, Sylvia. She got off the blood pressure medication, and her goal was to get into the green. So you have that top number and the bottom number. Now, point of reference, most people don't even know what you call the top number, which means most people don't know what you call the bottom number. So this top number is systolic, and the bottom number is diastolic. And she's not in her 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. She's in her early 60s. And this is a good number. Now, she's learned how to eat I've coached her, and she's also taking a product called the balance oil. It's a combination of omega-3s with polyphenols. That's the big change. And I'm going to show you data, clear data, on when you know certain numbers, you can do something about your situation. Unless you just want to stay on medications. And some people they're obstinate. They are stiff-necked. They are not looking to learn anything else unless it comes from their doctor. Well, please know, I have quite a few doctors that are my clients. And when I share this information with them, they're like, oh man, this is good information. They take it the same way the average person's taking it. So let's get off on so here's the future right here. You can see that numbers are about to get good. Okay. So now it's about to get fun. So there's a test that you can take, and you can reach out to me. I have partners. If somebody shared this video with you, they're probably sharing it because they want you to know about this test. And this is framed around what we call test-based nutrition. So you don't guess because you can do a test. And it's as legit as any test could be. It's scientifically validated. And you can do this test at home in the privacy of your house. Now, it's a 20-page report that you get back, but this is the snapshot of it. And I'm only going to highlight a couple of the numbers. So the very first number, where you see 68-1, this is one of my clients. Everyone's numbers are different, but most people, around 99% of people, are going to be in the red. And if you're in the red, that's not good. And as your numbers improve, it goes to the color yellow. And then eventually you get to the green. And I'm going to show you a success story. And this can help with a lot of things. So what does this first number stand for? So 68-1. Okay. Let me make it a little closer to you. So you got 68-1. We're looking at the balance of what they call omega-6 fatty acids and omega-3. So there's a ratio. The first number is always for omega-6. And that number is going to change. The second number is for omega-3. Now, omega-6 is known for causing inflammation when you get too much of it. And omega-3, you hear like eating more salmon and stuff like that, chia seeds, because it's known for bringing down inflammation. Well, you want that ratio, the balance between those numbers, to be 3-1 or lower. So you want that 68 to be 3. Now, it may get down to 6, then maybe get down to 4. But eventually we wanted to get down to 3. If lower than that, it's even better. 2.5, 1.7. Okay, 1-1, that would be great. Now, why is this important? Well, unfortunately, your doctor has not taken the time to do this for you. And if they do, it's a serum test, which is not what I'm talking about. This is pricking the finger, is looking at the red blood cell, your cell membrane. And in that cell membrane, you have various molecules. You got proteins in there, you got carbs in there, you got water, you got omega-6, you got saturated fat, you got omega-3. And when those ratios, those numbers are out of balance, it can look something like this. And when the 6 is high, it's causing inflammation, and it can also drive high blood pressure. So think of all the people you know right now that are working to get their blood pressure under control. And not one time did their endocrinologist, and I'm not throwing them under the bus, I'm just telling you the truth, do this kind of test. They just put you on another med. Then they try different meds. So you want to know where you are. So one of the take homes here is that you want to get this test, okay, no matter what. And then with the omega-3, if you can bring in more omega-3, which we can find out with the test, then that's going to reduce inflammation. And it's been proven in thousands of studies to lower blood pressure. So again, you got people out there battling, running around, trying to figure this out, and they have absolutely no clue about the importance of this test. Now, the cool part is that I'm a partner with the company that makes this test available. Like if you wanted to be a partner with me or like become a certified nutritionist, which I have a certification, you could do that. And all of my coaches, I recommend, the ones that get certified as nutritionists, to get with this company so that we can make this test available because it makes sense. We can be saving lives. And I'm saving lives. I'm seeing it on a regular basis because people weren't even aware of this. Right. And if you look at the clinical study that I mentioned up there, that's what they call a meta-analysis. It's pretty small, but it says in a 2022 meta-analysis in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that omega-3 intake significantly lowers blood pressure, but not any omega-3. it has to be one that has polyphenols, which is something that we make available. Isn't this cool? So now you know that. And if you want to learn more, you can reach out to me. My email is available. I can send you information. I've written hundreds of articles on all this stuff, and I can make all of this available to you to save you time and energy. If you know anybody on high blood pressure, they're being challenged with that, they're taking medications, okay, let's save their kidneys, because the last days of their life is not going to be good. If you know anyone that's been on dialysis, trust me, if they could have done something that could have changed the game, I believe they would. Okay, so that's number one. We got two more things to cover here. Okay, two more. Then we have this thing called cell membrane fluidity. Now, this is something that I just love talking about. Why do I love talking about it? Is because every cell in your body has a membrane. So think of my fist as a cell, and the thing that wraps around is the membrane. Now, depending on the health of that membrane, that dictates how much oxygen, the nutrients that can get into the cell to create energy, and all the positives that take place in the cell. And then you have toxins in the cell that need to leave. Well, if that membrane is rigid, then blood vessels can restrict. You reduce what they call nitric oxide, and your blood pressure goes up. Everyone needs to know their level of health when it comes to the cell membrane. Let's say you sell supplements, because I watch a lot of people on social media, and I've been on some science boards with some network marketing companies, and people are selling supplements. Oh, this is the best peptide. Try this. There's no test to prove that it works, like none. But let's just look at the cell membrane. Like if I was selling something like that with some company, I would be a part of this company that I'm with just to have this test, because you can look at the health of the cell membrane. If it's rigid, you cannot be healthy. You can't. So people need to stop it. It's disgusting. And I know part of it is ignorance, but it really does drive me crazy when you're aware of what I'm sharing with you and they're just out there talking crazy. So many people would be in such better health if their cell membranes were healthier. Everything works better. Okay, and I'm going to show you someone who improved her cell membrane fluidity, and we have the test to prove it. And everything got better. Because when it's rigid, it ain't good. That means the cells can't bend, they can't fold, they can't change, they can't squeeze, get into areas of the body. Symptoms of a rigid cell membrane. I'm a little tired today. Man, I don't have the same get up and go. Man, what's wrong with me? And the only thing that's helping the people who would have those problems not have those problems is that maybe they exercise a lot. Because exercise can help force the cell membranes to do things that otherwise wouldn't happen without exercise. So exercise is like a shield for people who are out of balance. So why not exercise and be in balance? Okay. So, and again, I have hundreds of clients where I have all of their data, all of their lab work. I'm coaching them for years, and the only thing we changed was we did their tests. I put them on balanced oil, which is polyphenols with omega-3. And now they're off meds. And I'm not saying this happens with everybody, but it's happened with a lot of my clients. And I've only seen positives because you do a test again. So cell membrane fluidity is a game changer. I would be embarrassed if I was promoting a product that did not address the importance of cell membrane fluidity. Some of you will hear this and still do nothing until it becomes a demand from the people, right? One of your clients asked about this. What are you going to tell them? You're going to say, oh, this is not real. You can't. This is 9th grade biology. We've advanced, man. When I first got into the game, there was no test like this. It was first discovered in 2004, became commercialized 2009, and now I'm in a position, and you can too, to one, get the test and create a little business or a big business where you can make the test available to people so they know, and then they can do something about it. And guess what? I have in the last year about 25, 26 customers that I've done the test for, and I put on the balance oil that are board certified physicians. They never heard of this. They're my client, and I coach them in nutrition, and I introduce them to this, and they're like, wow. And now a few of them are becoming my business partners. Can't make this up, man. This is one of the most realest things I've ever seen. And if you're a fitness person out there, or a nurse, it's a shame if you don't get informed about this, because this can be the game changer for many people. I mean, you think about glutathione, right? Glutathione is like the master antioxidant. Kids who are battling with autism, we know that when glutathione is low, then they tend to have like a lot of challenges with their autism. You know, kids, ADHD, and I mean, the list goes on and on. Suicidal thoughts, all of these negatives. Well, they were thinking, let's just supplement with glutathione, or let's do an infusion with glutathione. Well, why not go to the pathways and what makes it possible for glutathione to be produced? Well, if you don't have an adequate amount of omega-3 and the cell membranes are not fluid, then you're not producing what you could produce when it comes to glutathione. Guys, this makes total sense. Okay, we're not done, and I don't want to get stuck there, but this person's in the red, which is not good. Okay, you want good cell membrane. I'm going to show you someone who started in the red, and they're not in the red anymore. They're in the green. Okay. Then we have another thing I love talking about is arachidonic acid. I believe that arachidonic acid is more important and needed to be talked about than cholesterol panels. And people are starting to come around when it comes to cholesterol. They're starting to like, there's more debate there. You know, our new FDA commissioner is like, I'm on board 100% with this guy. He gets it. So I see a lot of changes coming as it pertains to cholesterol. However, arachidonic acid is the truth. That's inflammation. And when you have significant amounts of arachidonic acid, which is happening primarily because you're consuming too many omega-6 fatty acids, which is what they call seed oils, then that happens. It creates that restriction. Blood pressure goes up, total negative, not good. And think about the fact that your doctor has not, and I'm assuming, but I'm willing to bet that your doctor has not talked about cutting back on seed oils and changing the way you eat so that your arachidonic levels are lower. Well, number one, they're not even testing for your arachidonic acid levels. So you can look at your arachidonic acid right here. Look at this. And I had a lady who's in a very wealthy community in Calabasas, California. The other day I got her numbers, and I haven't been able to track her down to go over her numbers. And she's so nonchalant about it because she spends a lot of money with doctors, going to wellness clinics, all of this crazy stuff, right? But yet she has no clue about arachidonic acid. They have not given her this information, and I just find that to be an injustice. It's like criminal. And her numbers, like you see, 13.5%. Okay, that's red. That's not good. This lady's in the 20s. In the 20s. She's a walking time bomb, because when you have increased arachidonic acid, that means you have narrowing of the arteries. You have increased risk of blood clots. You have increased risk of stroke and heart attack. And oftentimes you'll see the blood pressure going up. Think about that. I'm telling you, man, people who got money and they're spending money and they think that they're all that, and they are fooling themselves, man. Their ignorance is blocking them. And right now their ignorance is bliss, because in their mind, I get it. They would be like, well, and I've heard this from people. I've worked with a lot of celebrities, and I'll show them things and teach them things that they never heard of. And they'll go, why am I just now learning this? I go, hey, I'm sorry you're just now learning this, but this is the truth. And now they can go Google and look it up, and they go, oh my God, you're right. I go, yeah, arachidonic acid, people. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to bring it home. Okay, and thank you for sticking with me all this time. We're going to talk about icosanoids. Cos, stress the cos. Icosanoids. See, icosanoids are like substances or molecules that are made from fatty acids. And this is not necessarily a negative because they played a role in helping with inflammation, as well as they can play a huge role in the cause of inflammation. And it goes back to that balance. And arachidonic acid plays a huge role, right? So as you can see in my little clip here, let me make it a little wide bigger for you. See where it says made from these fats? Arachidonic acid, okay, is made from that, and it's also made from, I want to make sure you can see this, get my big head out the way. EPA, which is part of omega-3 that helps reduce inflammation in the body, right? That's anti-inflammatory. Well, icosanoids are chemical messengers, right, that are made from fats in your cell membrane. So we're back to the cell membrane. They turn inflammation on, they turn inflammation off. They control blood vessels, open or tighten. They help manage blood clots. Remember I mentioned blood clots? And they send signals in the brain and the immune system. And when you have too much arachidonic acid, which is what's happening right now, then you got inflammation, you have blood vessel constriction, and you have increased risk of blood clotting. Guys, this is real. Okay, we're almost done. So here's one of my clients who I'm going to feature today. This is Sandy. Sandy has been a client of mine for many years. And I'm going to say she's smart because she's still a client. Like I have certain clients that are with me and then they quit. And I don't know why people give up on themselves, but it has nothing to do with me. All I can tell you is that the people that I coach, and I've been coaching some people over 20 years, they continue to be my client because they like learning and it helps them with accountability. It's like people who are like Weight Watchers, like superstars with 30 plus years. So I'll never understand why someone would have a coach and then stop working with a coach. Because I have a coach. I have two coaches. I have a business coach and I have a nutrition health related coach. And I could never imagine not having that. The only thing that could stop a person from having a coach, in my opinion, would be they couldn't afford it. And I have like some programs where people pay $400 a month. And I have like these VIP discounted programs. It's like $50 a month. That's like meeting with a friend once a week and buying them a coffee and a sandwich. And I still give the people who pay $400 a month, I give them the same thing that people pay $50, and the people that pay $50, I give them the same thing compared to people who pay $400. So like my client Linda, who went from 249 pounds to 125 pounds, she says, Robert, I'm either out of here or you're out of here. Other than that, I'm with you. And I go, hey, and I will continue to be your coach and work with you, and we will and it works. So anyway, not to get off of that, but I'm proud because Sandy came on board with me and we made a lot of progress, but she had some level of insulin resistance. And yes, she's given me permission. I talk about her a lot. Well, here's her first test, you guys. So look at that. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. Her cell membrane, I want you to just go back to the cell membrane. Her cell membrane fluidity is not, in the green. It's not in the yellow. It's in the red. So that means that signaling and things aren't getting into the cell as well, and things aren't leaving as well. And Sandy was at a place where she's been on blood pressure medication for 37 years. She had insulin resistance. We looked at 5 different markers, and I'm sure you picked up that I said she had. And weight loss was really tough because when you have insulin resistance, it's really challenging to lose weight. So some of you guys are out there trying to lose weight. You're blaming it on this and that. And then you go to some doctor who's not informed or some so-called specialist, and they don't even address insulin resistance. And they definitely don't look at the cell membrane fluidity. So they're not even looking at this. And I hope you understand how important this is. Well, Sandy, is no longer on blood pressure medication after 37 years, you guys. And her blood pressure numbers are better now than ever. I mean, right there, we could just stop and have a major celebration. And then she started losing weight. Like her weight got to the point where she was just stagnant from like 182, 184, 184, 185, 183. I mean, for a while. When I say a while, over a year. And then we get her test back, and around the exact same time, so watch this right here, the cell membrane fluidity. That's her cell membrane fluidity now. Oh, yeah, and notice her ratios improved. She's not 13.1 anymore. Okay, you see where it says 13.1? She's 2.2. Guys, you can't make this up. Okay, look over here, protection value, and I'm not doing a seminar on protection value, but this is important. This should be 90 to 100%. Okay, see that to the right, upper right? Okay, now look where she's at, 100%. The only big difference in Sandy's life, and I can say this because I had been coaching her, was that we did the tests, so we knew where she was, which I thought was amazing. And then she started taking the balance oil that has polyphenols with omega-3s and a few other things. And now look at her cell membrane fluidity. Guys, it doesn't get any better than this. And it just comes down to this basic thing called a test. So in my opinion, as I get ready to close up here, in my opinion, I really believe that millions, if not billions of people could be in better health if they knew about what we're talking about. If you could get a test, which you can, and it's not even expensive, and then know your cell membrane fluidity, so on a cellular level, how healthy are your cells? Before I go buy a protein powder, I want to know my cell membrane fluidity. Someone's selling you, like, I don't care what the product is. Could I have some people that I do work with, they're text me, hey, what about this product? Hey, this place has a test. Hey, look at this product. Hey, here's another product. And they're sending me all this stuff, and I'm looking at it going, Lord, help these people. Because they obviously do not understand that you can talk about DNA testing and you can talk about all the things in the world. But if it does not include just the cell membrane fluidity, the health of that cell membrane, you have been bamboozled again. DNA is in the cells. You can't just jump past cell membrane fluidity. It's mind-blowing that, you know, like someone says, oh, I got this peptide, it's stem cell. Okay. I get it. Ibuprofen works. Aspirin works. Now, I understand the pathways of how they work. I know exactly what molecules and what it blocks, what it stops, so that you don't feel the pain. But you hadn't fixed anything. You just don't know that. So you just do what everybody else is doing. I mean, this is CIA type techniques. MK Ultra, look that up. It's like people just go with what becomes a norm. That's the power of commercials. The power, like, it's like GLP-1 drugs. Oh, I got to do it. I'm going to do it. And the more people do it, you go, oh, well, they're doing it. Oprah's doing it. And you just get pulled in. No discernment, no ability to have critical thinking, you know, unless you have reason now, right? So my goal is give you more information so you can go, okay. Like, there are people out there who I respect in the world of nutrition and health. They don't know about this test. If they did, there's no way it wouldn't be part of their protocol. No way. They just don't know yet. You can't jump over this, you guys. It's kind of like someone showing you the cell phone for the first time. A current, like, Android, iPhone, and you see, well, like, and all you saw before that was, let's say, a landline. For those of us who are old enough to remember. You see that cell phone and when it can take pictures, like you're like, that's the Jetsons. Oh my God. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's what is going to happen with this test and the importance of cell membrane fluidity and what we can look at on a cellular level and how we can monitor it, do what is necessary, and then test again and see that it got better. So here's the take home, and I'll let you go. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If anyone that you know is on blood pressure meds, it would be to their benefit to see if they can get off of those meds. Now, if they can't, they can't. And they can talk to their doctor and they can work together. But all you got to do is ask yourself, how do you want, if you live long enough? And see, I don't think people think about that. But if you live long enough, right, you could be 67 right now. And let's say that the problems with your kidneys don't show up until 77. Because when it happens, it just happens. There's no like warning. It just happens. And you're like, well, why didn't we see this last year in my checkup? It just happens. Talk to enough people. Go to a dialysis center and you'll hear their stories. You just don't, they're not on Facebook and they're not sharing their stories. Many of them are embarrassed because they feel like it was their fault. They could have done some things, but now they go to dialysis every, 3 times a week. And then it gets worse and worse. And then they just blame it on being older, which is so sad because that's not the case. Talk to your doctor and take steps. Now, if what I share with you seemed too scientific, it didn't make, I apologize, but reach out to me and I can still answer your questions. So you can email me at robert@dietfreelife.com or reach out to the person who shared this video. If it does make sense, don't put it off. Because I watch a lot of people say, oh, Robert, hey, I'm going to call you. Hey, we're going to do this late. And then I never hear from them. And some of those people, I could go in and show you my messages with childhood friends of mine. They're dead now. Blood clot, heart attack, stroke, gone. I mean, a good amount of them. Because I know a lot of people. So anyway, that's it. Let me take a look. Is there any questions anybody got for me? Hands on this test. Okay, so someone says, I think Yo B, email me if you want to get the test because everybody benefits from getting the test. Big shout out to Wendy. I wish I could have seen you, Wendy. We got Darlene in the house. I got people on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We're on a couple of Facebook pages. And I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate you. And let's keep it moving. And one last thing is share this video. Share it on your Facebook. If you feel that it could help other people, if they were informed and knew what I just shared with you, there's a share button. All you got to do is share it. Now, in closing, I'm going to play a video from someone I look up to for many years. His name is Dr. Andrew Wild, and he talks about the importance of omega-3s. And I can show you multiple videos where they talk about omega-6 or 3. But in closing, I just want you to hear his lesson. It's like 23 seconds. And he says that you cannot be in optimal health if you do not get enough omega-3s. And he says that most of us are not getting enough, which is over 99% of the people. You're not getting enough. And how do we know that? Because we can give you a test. All right, you guys. Until the next one, I'm Robert Ferguson. Peace out.
Most significant nutritional deficiency in this population is omega-3 fatty acids. The amount of research accruing on the health benefits of omega-3 fatty acids is overwhelming, not just for physical health, but for mental health. I think you can't be in optimum health if you do not have adequate intake of omega-3s. Most of us are not getting enough.
Life is a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right, teaching you to